not the game of the night. I know it was the last game of the night, but that was not the game of the night. The
Mm.
game of the night was Thunder surviving the double overtime in a thrilling ring night and wild opening. Sengun shined. I was happy to see him shine, but OKC had the last word. You had some good performances from Sengun. Like I mentioned, 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. You want that. But the big three of OKC combined for 71 points in total. Shai 32, 8 and 4. Chet 21, 11 and 5. And then Jalen still getting 18, 6 and 5. I think this is what we are calling the new dynasty for the next couple of years. Young talent, everybody knows how to play their role. What did you think about that thriller in OKC and Durant coming back to the place that birthed him?
Well, it's crazy because it wasn't even all NBA Jalen Williams. It's the other Jalen Williams with a Y. So, I mean, it's wild the amount of depth that OKC has. Mark Dagnall, he plays, 10 deep every single game. And when you got a game that goes into double overtime, you're going to have a distinct advantage, right? Amen Thompson, the best defender for the Houston Rockets, he had to leave the game because he was locking up with cramps. That's how OKC operates. They can take you out to deep water and drown you just because they can keep throwing bodies at you. And there is no drop off when it comes to the guys that are coming in the second unit. So I love the way that they play. I have an increasing appreciation for the greatness of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I know that a lot of people refer to that cat as a free throw merchant, but this dude is a bucket whenever he wants it, right? He only had 11 points through the first 3 quarters of the game, but in the fourth quarter, in both overtimes, he combined 7 of 14 from the field, 9 of 12 from the free throw line, 24 points, including being able to draw that foul on Kevin Durant with less than 2 seconds to go in double overtime, get to the line, and hit the go-ahead free throw. To me, SGA being able to get you a bucket when you absolutely need it, get to his spot whenever he wants to, is what separates the Oklahoma City Thunder from anyone else in the Western Conference. Right now, he is arguably the best bucket getter in the entire NBA. And I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm already here. But I think he's got the hardware to prove it. And last night, he backed up the performance that we saw last year when he came off the MVP, won a championship, also won Finals MVP. SGA is that dude. And we're at the point now where we all have to accept it.
He is a baller. He's a bucket getter. And there's a definition for hooper out there. Everybody says what's a hooper, who's not a hooper. Shai's a hooper. And I love when he gets to his spots, he takes those shots. They call him a free throw merchant, but I call him a mid-range merchant. He's perfecting how you can score at all 3 levels. If you give him the opportunity to kind of pump fake too hezzy, get to the hole, he's going to do that. You give him the midi, he's going to take that. He's not Steph Curry from the 3, but he's very consistent when he's getting the ball rolling. But I'm not sold that they're going to go back-to-back.
Why are you not sold on them? What?
I feel like the NBA in the last several years has had the most parity it's ever had.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There have been, the last 7 years, there have been 7 different champions. So I hear what you're saying. But consider this. You have arguably the best player in the game. You have 2 other guys that have all NBA caliber talent. And you have the deepest team, bar none, in the entire league. Barring anything unforeseen in the way of injury, they're going to be in the championship rounds. And based on what you saw last night, how could you not have confidence that they're going to come out on the right side of that?
Because the Houston Rockets took them to 2 overtimes. And I don't think the Houston Rockets is on their level as of yet. I think they still got to gel.
That's a hot take.
I think they still got to gel.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. I'm going to say this. I'm going to throw a curveball at you because I found something fascinating while I'm watching the ring ceremony before the game tipped off. And I couldn't help but think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the one to deliver a championship to Oklahoma City and not the trio of Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. 3 players that won MVPs in their own right. They weren't the ones to do it. It was SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fascinating to me because from an individual talent standpoint, I don't think there's really an argument when it comes to ability of the respective big threes, but it's a matter of complementing one another, putting it all together, and having it work out. And I think that's what makes OKC special, and that's why I have confidence in them, because it's not a collection of talent.
Yep.
They're a quintessential team. It's not that they lack talent, because they do, but they are connected in a way that you typically don't see teams in professional sports be.
Now, as much as they want to say the original big three of Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, and for the young listeners, you guys probably didn't believe that all three of them was on the team at the same time. As much as we can say them not getting that ring could be an indictment on their legacies, I think there's a bigger legacy that we need to talk about, and that's Sam Presti. He is doing what he needs to do in assembling a team. So I understand where people feel that this is the dynasty of the future, because he's built some great pieces, young pieces, and he added around them people that know their role. But at the same time, I think you got a team in the Magics that can come in a couple years. Maybe not right now. I think there's a team in New York that has some stuff to say. Indiana, they're out of it. I think without Hallie is going to be bad.
Yeah, he's not going to play all of this year. So
Celtics, I think, is going to be bad. But I do see the Spurs. I seen Wemby. Oh my God, this guy added to his bag. You got 2 7-footers, one playing power forward, one playing center, and they've been doing nothing but alley-oops and just dropping it off to each other during the preseason.
That's a hell of a two-man game, ain't it?
And then you also got the Clippers, and I know nobody believes in them, but Chris Paul is going to be there to make sure he kind of keeps the ship going afloat.
Yeah, and listen, Kawhi Leonard has looked good this preseason.
He looks healthy.
I know it's preseason, but he looks good. From a health standpoint, he looks good. But here's the thing. The Western Conference is stacked. There isn't a whole lot of opportunity. You keep talking about these up-and-coming teams. Where they going? Because they're going to keep running into the same squads that are at the top of the West. So I just don't see it. Like, I don't think there's any room when you consider the top 4 teams in the West, in my opinion, and in no uncertain order: the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Denver Nuggets, the Golden State Warriors, and the Houston Rockets. Like, I don't see any room for anybody else to step up. I mean, people want to look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. They want to believe in Ant-Man, who's been to back-to-back conference finals. But I just don't see how they get there, because those other teams are so good. So I think the East is far more interesting, because you have more teams that, if things break right, they could potentially make a run at getting to an NBA Finals, right? You look at the Cavs and the New York Knicks, the two co-favorites to come out of the East and get to the Finals. But I mean, it's the Cavs without LeBron James. They're already dealing with injury issues. Darius Garland's hurt. Max Strus is banged up. He's out. We'll see what happens with Lonzo Ball. Like, they're already dealing with stuff. And then, of course, the New York Knicks, they're breaking in a brand new head coach in Mike Brown. They're turning the page on the Tom Thibodeau era. So we'll have to see how that works out. And then you have all of these other teams that you can put in the hat. You got the Atlanta Hawks, who had maybe the most valuable trade asset in the NBA, that pick that they're getting from the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't think that team will look the same at the end of the season as they do right now. You also have the Orlando Magic. They made the Desmond Bane trade because they sensed an opportunity in the Eastern Conference. The Detroit Pistons are a tough out, not to be overlooked, not to be disrespected. Curious to know whether or not they get back in on Malik Beasley. He had a prolific three-point shooting season last year, almost historic. Now that he's been cleared from all of the malfeasance, I'm curious to know whether or not they get involved in his free agency, that courtship. I know that they got Duncan Robinson on the team. I'm curious to know if they try to spin the block with Malik Beasley. That will become interesting. And then a team that nobody really wants to believe in, but I think people should be paying attention to, the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh.
I'm bullish on the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid has looked good throughout the preseason games, open scrimmages. I love VJ Edgecombe, what he brings to the table. Tyrese Maxey, dog. if Paul George can give them anything at the 4, if he can give them anything, if Paul George can play in 60 games and Embiid can play in 60 games, then the Philadelphia 76ers are going to make a run to the Final Four this year. They're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, again, I know it's hard to have faith or confidence in Philadelphia from a health standpoint, but that to me is a dark horse team to come out of the East.
Dark horse. They need a voodoo doctor at this point in time to stay healthy. I've always been an Embiid fan. Tyrese, I love him. Paul George, one of my favorites. I loved him when he was at OKC. He could have won Defensive Player of the Year and then also MVP for that year. He was up there in top 3, I believe. But they got to stay healthy. They got to stay healthy.
They got to stay healthy, and they got to figure out what they're doing with the power forward spot. Like Paul George would be a small forward, but that's what they need him to play. Adem Bona, that's another guy that they're looking at. Like they've got to workshop what they're going to do at the 4 position. But if they can figure that out, and Embiid and Paul George can stay healthy and play, like I said, minimum 60 games, then all of a sudden, I think people need to consider the Philadelphia 76ers. Like they got a lot of firepower. They got a lot of guys that could go. So, we'll see. But the 100. East is wide open. I mean, anybody can make a case. If you're the Milwaukee Bucks, even without Damian Lillard, you still got Giannis. You made the move to bring over your boy Miles Turner from the Pacers. Even they can look at it if they squint. I mean, if they really squint. I mean, I'm talking about just that they squint. They can see a path to trying to get to the NBA Finals. So, again, I think it's just there are a bunch of teams in the East that are going to be in the mix.